Welcome back to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting, including today, Nickelodeon no longer a priority for Paramount. According to reports, Nickelodeon, MTV, Comedy Central, and BET are no longer a big priority of Paramount and not to the new owners. We'll tell you what that means for the future of those networks. Speaking of cable TV networks, how bad is it for some networks? A new report out shows that some cable networks are absolutely getting almost no viewership right now, with one of them averaging 1,000 viewers in prime time. That's nothing. Most YouTube channels can do better than that are successful. And Rupert Murdoch, the owner of News Corp and Fox News and Fox, is selling one of his cable TV prized possessions, his huge cable network for cable TV. We'll tell you what's happening there and a whole lot more coming up in a quick second. First though, if you want to learn more about any of these stories, check out the show notes, and in the first pinned comment I'll put a link to each story there so you can read them for yourself and come up with your own opinions. If you like what we do, please hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. Doing one or both lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here, so YouTube recommends our videos to more people. Alright, let's dive into it. Jumping off here with, we already talked recently about MTV. Let's be honest, it's now going to be a home for Friends reruns and Big Bang Theory reruns. A lot of questions we talked about last week. What's the future of MTV? It's not looking very good as a network. Now the Hollywood Reporter has a report out that says, according to the reports, BET, Nickelodeon, Comedy Central are no longer main priorities of Paramount. Now CBS still is, but the rest of the company's focus is shifting over to streaming. This raises real questions about what is happening with these networks and what their future is. I think maybe as we know it's probably going away, with a lot of the content moving over to Paramount Plus. We've talked about this many times. Kids networks like Nickelodeon are seeing their viewership demographic age. That's why we see Adult Swim continue to expand on Cartoon Network, with some days starting at 5 p.m. with classic reruns of old Cartoon Network shows, because they're trying to attract that 30-something-year-old who, I'm going through and look, Dexter's Laboratory's on. I remember watching that as a kid. Let me catch a classic episode here real quick with that. And for MTV, they're saying, why are we working to create original content when young people aren't watching MTV anymore? They're now on Paramount Plus, Max, Peacock, and the like. I fully predict in the next couple years, several of these networks will shut down, especially the sub-networks, MTV Plus, Paramount Plus, and others. Mark my word, these are some of the most vulnerable networks. And I actually think the only reason why a few of them are still here is because they're waiting for the merger to close. They don't want to shutter any assets as they're in the process of completing a merger with Skydance Media and Paramount. Until that happens, things are going to continue moving forward. But they're making it clear that the future of these are in doubt. I don't know, Nicktoons gone? Nickelodeon itself rebranded, changed, gone? Kids content moved to streaming only? Leave me a comment, let me know what you think. Alright, so how bad is it for cable networks? Well, quite a few networks have 10,000 or less viewers during prime time. That's awful. But there's one network that has just 1,000 viewers with that. And that one is the Spanish version of HGTV. I think that's the Spanish version. HOGAR space DE space HGTV. BEN Espanol only has 4,000 average primetime viewers. Some other ones that you may know better is Logo TV at 19,000. Disney XD. Now remember, Spectrum just dropped this channel. Averages just 18,000. We just talked a moment ago in our last story about decline in youth viewership. ESPN Deportes just 22,000. Teen Nick at just 23,000. American Crimes at just 28,000. It's very interesting to see how many of these networks are below 10,000, how many are below 30,000. So a couple more 10,000. The Sportsman Channel just averages 4,000 primetime viewers. Comedy.tv averages 10,000. Very interesting to see these networks continue to decline. Let's be honest. Many mid-sized YouTubers, it's not unusual for us to put up a video and in our first hour get 3,000 or more on a good video in just the first 60 minutes. For these networks to be averaging under 10,000 on a major cable network, That's shocking to me, to be honest with you. Leave me a comment, let me know, do any of these jump out at you? Does it surprise you to see Access TV, Fox Sports 2 at just 21,000? The Cowboy Channel has more viewership than Fox Sports 2. Does that surprise you? Discovery Life Channel just averages 19,000. Outdoor Channel just 16,000 viewers during prime time, according to Nielsen data. We got a full link to the story with all the breakdown of these channels and the sourcing there if you would like to check it out. Look for this to continue. I predict, I've said this over and over, we just talked about this, many cable networks will not be here in 5 years. There's just not the economics to make it feasible. You just cannot continue to run networks, expect advertisers to pour money into them with viewership numbers like this, when they can go to streaming services like this and get a much larger audience. They can come here on YouTube and get a much larger audience. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think of that. Speaking of that, it may not surprise you that some companies are trying to get out of the cable business. Rupert Murdoch actually owns a cable TV company, and he's selling it to DAZN. Interestingly, a lot of people are surprised that they have the money and interest, but they're a lot bigger outside the United States than sometimes we think of them here in the United States. A $3.2 billion platform here. News Corp is selling its Foxtel cable TV company in Australia. Now, this gives them a minor stake in the DAZN over-the-top streaming British. It's a British-owned streaming company and cable network that offers sports. Again, not quite as popular in the United States as it is in other parts of the world, but it's bigger than us Americans think it is. And now it'll be the owner of Foxtel in Australia when this deal actually closes. This is Fox looking at this and saying, you know, this isn't where we want to be. This isn't where we want to be pulling our money in. People aren't watching content this way. It's time for us to move to a different way to get our content. Does that surprise you? I suspect this is just the tip of the iceberg of what we're seeing as cord cutting is really exploding around the world. More and more companies are going to be getting out of it soon. All right. Speaking of your cable TV company, get ready for a price hike if you're a Comcast customer who gets RSNs. Now, Comcast is raising the price on its RSNs nationally between $1 and $2, depending on your market and different factors. Another price hike hitting Comcast customers, this time in a fee. Now, a few things here. Comcast did renew a deal to get, at the time, Bally Sports, now FanDuel Sports Network, if I remember that name correct, back in, but it's now in the highest, most expensive tier on Comcast. So with that, you're seeing a lot of content no longer being offered, or this fee no longer being impacted some of the lower packages. And the customers who really want it are going to continue to pay a huge premium to get this content. Look for other price hikes like this to come. We often see quite a bit at the start of each year with price hikes. Keep a close eye out there. Even if your cable company already did one a few months ago, it's becoming more common instead of waiting once a year to do them several times in a 12-month period. We'll keep an eye on it. All right, Netflix has a huge day tomorrow with the NFL streaming live 2 games on Netflix exclusively. Now, women's FIFA games are going to be coming to Netflix as Netflix continues to expand its sports coverage. We'll have full coverage over at CoreCardsNews.com to see how well they do with the NFL. But FIFA World Cup streaming rights is expanding to Netflix as it tries to grow its sports distribution to attract new subscribers. Keep a very close eye on that. Sports is often seen as one of the few ways that streaming services and others can attract new subscribers, and they seem to be very focused on that over at Netflix to try to attract more sports, more live events to get more people subscribed to Netflix. Let me know how that works out for you. And we're continuing the Cordy Awards over at CoreCardsNews.com. And yesterday we announced the winners for the best live TV streaming service. Between YouTube TV, Fubo, and Hulu and others, we broke down who's got the best one according to our readers. Now, not a lot of surprise here. The vast majority of people picked YouTube TV with a very dominant lead of 31% of the vote picking YouTube TV, followed by Sling TV. Now, this one consistently comes in second, and Sling TV's kind of had that quiet, steady approach here. You don't hear a lot of many people talk about it, but our readers seem to really like it. I've said this for a while. If you have an antenna and you get your locals from an antenna, Sling TV can be one of the cheapest ways to get live channels because you're not paying for those local ones. Now, that was followed by Philo in third place. Does that surprise you? Philo's been jumping up recently, higher and higher in our rankings. And then followed by Hulu and down there, Fubo. Anything stand out? Excuse me, I apologize. Anything stand out here at all to you in this list? With YouTube TV, Sling TV, Philo, Hulu, and Fubo. Anything stand out in the list? Leave me a comment. Let me know how your ranking would be of the best live TV streaming services. Again, this comes from a survey we did of our readers and viewers here. Thank you to everybody who took the time to answer these questions and help pick the Cordy Awards for 2024. Well, that's it today. It's Christmas Eve in the United States when I'm posting this. Merry Christmas, everybody. If you're watching this before or during Christmas. If you were watching after, I hope you had a fantastic day no matter what you may have done. Even if you just got a little downtime, I hope you enjoyed your day. We'll be back again tomorrow with a special edition of Cord Cutting Today. I think you're going to like it. I did something a little different, something kind of fun. I hope you're going to enjoy it. Until next time, take care, be safe, and Merry Christmas.